representation of my emotions right now.
Here's a visual representation of my emotions right now.
It's a drawing of a blender.
It's a drawing of a blender.
And inside a black lump
And inside a black lump
is spinning
in
circles.
circles.
Looking back, it makes
it makes
me sad.
it makes me sad.
I drew it when I was in elementary school.
I drew it when I was in elementary school.
And it's the first time I can remember.
It's the first time I can remember
Not having the words to express my
emotions.
5 years later, I would find myself sitting
5 years later, I would find myself sitting
cross-legged
on the floor
of a middle school
classroom.
Talking with a friend I didn't know very well. She would tell me about self-harm. She would tell me where she cut herself. So her parents didn't see. It was devastating. And heartbreaking. And I laughed. Because once again, I didn't have the words to talk about my mental health and the mental health of the people I cared about. I'm a junior in high school now. And I watched as friends have battled with anxiety and depression. I've had friends drop out of high school. I've had friends attempt suicide. It's heartbreaking. Because mental health issues are something other people have. Until it's the people you love. And our students are not being prepared for addressing these issues. In fact, my generation has some of the highest suicide rates since World War II. 1 in 3 students reports persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness. According to a 2019 study, which was up 40% from 2009. My generation is struggling. But we already knew that. See, it's not like we're doing nothing about these statistics. In fact, we're seeing the schools across the nation hire more school therapists. We are seeing third-party organizations and states political parties,
introducing programs to get free
introducing programs to get free
counseling sessions for youth.
counseling sessions for youth.
We are making changes and it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Because our mental health supports are not accessible to all youth. When a student wants to get mental health
aid
in
their classroom
or in their school, they have to leave class.
they have to leave class.
They have to make up that schoolwork. Or stay after school or come before school. And arrange rides with parents who might not be able to
provide them
if their work days don't accommodate
for that.
And students are expected to advocate for their own mental health when they have never had to do so before. It's a lot to ask. And it results in students not getting help until they are actively in crisis. We are not taking a preventative approach to our mental health services. And it's hurting kids. We need mental health integration in the classroom. And the coolest thing it's not that hard. Studies show, for instance, when students can write essays that break down complicated feelings or circumstances that they may be encountering at home. They are able to better analyze and process their own thoughts, which can result in healthier emotional regulation. In science, we can be teaching about neurochemistry. The way our brains work. Right now, we're keeping conversations about how our own minds work. Locked behind the doors of a counselor's office. When we could be teaching them in science class. We need to understand how we feel the way we do and why our emotions work that way. And it can help students better process and understand complex feelings. This high school and school is a stressful time.
And this high school and school is a stressful time
for kids.
When
you're stepping into your own and figuring out who you are, that can be difficult. And by integrating education
on
mental health into the
classroom,
we are providing students with the resources they need
to navigate this complex time.
But integration is the
key word here.
I've been a part of a number of classes where counselors have tried to
offer this support.
So they slip it in on the side. They take students seminar or study hall periods. Times that we've been
guaranteed
time to connect with friends,
work on homework,
catch up in classes, and replaced it with discussions about mental health. When we set up our mental health resources,
in
this way, it becomes a punishment. Students are losing time that they need to get other things done. And it creates a negative
relationship
with mental health that they may take with them
they may take with them
for the rest of their lives. We're making counselors sound like some scary third party. Somebody that you only go to if you're damaged. When we all encounter adversity, we all need that support. And it only makes sense to put it into a
regular classroom setting.
I know that this integration will make mental health
less taboo
and will empower
students
to advocate for their
own mental health.
Because when it's no longer some scary concept. When our advertisements about mental health are more than the
inspirational
posters in our high school
hallways,
we are letting students know that we all struggle sometimes,
and
we are making those resources that
we're investing in
school counselors in
the office
or therapy outside of school
more accessible.
This is the change that we need to benefit
our students
and preserve a future
and preserve a future
where mental wellness is a priority.
where mental wellness is a priority.
Thank you.
Thank you.